I'm a constitutional conservative at the end of the day, and that's how the government. Ken, good to see you.
Good to see you.
And on new turf, I love it.
Right. I think people have to realize that you've paid your dues. I mean, there's a lot of people who are running for office who haven't paid their dues like you have. I mean, the money you've raised for Republican candidates and that you've donated is terrific. It really is. But I think that there are a couple of things that some of the activists are concerned about on Facebook these days that I think you need to address. One of which is your comments on that Fox News show calling President Trump, or implying that he was a stupid racist or something like that. The second one is the money that your company earned from helping Democratic candidates. And the third thing that's really been going around a lot is your operatives, such as Dan Webb, who's your political director on the State Central Committee, working to get us a convention versus a primary. And a lot of people in the State Central Committee, a lot of activists were very concerned. Our Republican Party in Norfolk wanted a convention. We wanted a primary. Mm-hmm. And so we're very concerned about how that turned out. And the rumor is, or the evidence shows, that your people were behind the whole thing. So I think I was wondering if you can address those three things.
Yeah, Ken, I'm more than happy to. First and foremost, folks, if I had, and Bob probably knows this too, if I had a control or a say in State Central, goodness gracious, don't you think we would have had this thing figured out four months ago? That's absolutely insane. Look, after the decision was made in December, because you had to pivot your campaign and make it, from a primary to a convention, yeah, I supported staying the course. And I think the vast majority of statewide candidates did the exact same thing. As it relates to this is the NFL. When you're running for governor, you expect to be hit, you expect to take hits, and you know what? If you're not going to hear any whining from me at all whatsoever, because guess what? Terry McAuliffe is a killer, an absolute killer. Mm-hmm. And he's going to say and spread all sorts of innuendo out there, and if we can't take it, I'm sorry, we're not going to win. We've had the team that have pledged $1 million to stop me in our nominating contest. That's unprecedented. And why is that?
Who did this?
The teachers' unions, liberal teachers'
Right.
unions. And they're active, and they're doing it. Why? Well, because I've spent more than $1 million on television ads, making sure and pushing the Open Our Schools movement. But beyond that, I've done more. We are working in communities to actively go after obstruction of school board members, plain and simple. So they're bringing the kitchen sink at me. I've seen, or Breitbart News covered last night, that these clips of me, and that they're taken out of context, and they're just dead wrong. So, as it relates to the president, no one that's running for governor, no one, Ken, I know you were, but no one else who's running for governor was an elected delegate for the president in last year's convention. No one else was.
No, you were. That's right. You were.
Yeah,
you were. Right.
And no one else. And John Fredericks, who was the chairman of the 2016 and 2020 race for Donald J. Trump right here in Virginia, can tell you, no one else running for governor both supported the president and also supported him financially, which blows my mind. Because look, I don't have all the money in the world, but my wife and I found it upon ourselves between those two times to donate more than $50,000 to help our president.
It was $50,000.
More money. They didn't even bother to help. So, my record is my record. Plain and simple. And I'm proud to have been a delegate for Donald J. Trump. And as, and I think I'm also reaping the rewards of that, because his entire immigration team, from Ken Cuccinelli to Tony Pham, who used to run ICE, to Mark Morgan, who is the former Customs Bureau head. And, Pepe, you may know this, but Customs is the largest law enforcement operation in America. To Tom Homan, who is also a former ICE chairman. So the folks who were with Donald J. Trump from the very beginning and helped architect his policies are 100% with me, and I stand by my record with the president. No one's worked harder in Virginia.
So that comment was made really early on, like in 2015?
So I was a paid analyst for Fox News, and it was early spring of 2015. And I,
15, so that was in 15 when
Oh,
that was said.
2015. Oh my
Okay,
gosh,
all
yeah.
right, okay.
And my mom taught me well. I don't impugn people's character, and I don't talk about them. I was talking about rhetoric, and I was saying one doesn't have to use bad rhetoric when you're talking about standing strong against immigration.
Well, Rick Perry and Ken Cuccinelli didn't like Trump either, and,
Steve Bannon laughs at
they
laughs-
ran the
yeah.
administration, so,
Steve Bannon laughs and says, Pete, you were on the Trump train even
Yeah,
before
okay.
he was.
All right.
So look, it's no big deal because I know what the truth is, and millions of Virginians know the truth. The president knows what the truth is as well. So if I can't take slings and arrows and misinformation, guess what? I shouldn't be running for governor.
Okay, now what about the funding to the Democrats? What about your company allegedly, I heard it's $600,000 these days. What's going on with that? What's going on with that?
It's garbage.
Okay.
Plain and simple, I ran a company for over 12 years. We employed Republicans, Democrats, and independents.
Okay.
We worked with 90% of the folks that we worked with were corporations. I oversaw the whole thing. I oversaw the Republican work because I was on Fox News 4 days a week, probably every single week. And we worked for great people like Fred Thompson, Roy Blunt, lots of terrific conservatives. We had Democrats that did Democrat work, but I was not allowed to be anywhere near that because I was toxic, because I was a very well-known conservative. Someone's called me the ideological Robin Hood because, look, I've never given a dime to Democrats, unlike a lot of people that are running for governor. I've never given a dime to Democrats in my life. But what I have done is taken money and given over $1 million to conservative causes and candidates all around Virginia and all around the country. Why? Because it matters. And I believe what we do matters. And I've been fortunate in life. I've been able to ring the bell on Wall Street. I've been able to negotiate 8- and 9-figure deals. But I've also been able to work with Bob and Pam and others at a very local level to help elect at the bottom of the ticket all the way to the top.
Well, I noticed when I did a search on VPAP, I noticed that you personally, at least according to VPAP, gave something like $500,000 to Republican candidates.
Even more. Yeah, that's just
That's just VPAP. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's just Virginia. Well, I'm talking about in Virginia, you gave $500,000. But yet somebody was telling me that Glenn Youngkin gave more to Republican candidates than you, but yet actually it's only $18,000 on VPAP. So you've given money around the country as well.
Exactly, because it matters. And I've
Okay.
never given to a Democrat because I don't believe in their values. Plain
Okay.
and simple.
Good,
So-
thank you.